There have been a lot of Splatoon 3 special ideas out there, but I think one of the most interesting ones is a special that buffs your main weapon. Some of these ideas include some crazy things, like increasing a weapon's range the longer it fires, giving it the ability to pierce through objects, and a huge ink tank for throwing multiple sub-weapons. Because we're buffing weapons by the power level of a special, we can do a lot more drastic changes than we would be able to with an ability. These buffs would last for around 5 to 8 seconds, depending on the severity, and special power-up could be used to increase the duration. This is a really cool idea that I'd love to see Nintendo try out. If you like my ideas and want to see more concepts from me, you can be sure to subscribe for more content. And let me know your buff ideas in the comments. For a simple buff, let's start with Aerospray. Aerospray likes to paint around, get a high quantity of specials, and poke with sub-weapons, but Junior does the same thing and has that 10% larger ink tank. Well, screw Junior. With this special activated, Aerospray is going to get a 25% larger ink tank. This means it's going to have access to some double and triple bombs, especially with Sub-Saver, that Junior can't even dream of. You're going to be able to throw 4 burst bombs, for example. This gives some insane possibilities with sub-weapon poking, and it means that the main weapon is going to be able to paint forever. How about 96? 96 is a really fast 2-shot kill time that's really threatening with how much range it has, but it has so much shot deviation that it's really hard to reliably hit 2 shots in a row. But with this special activated, 96 will have no RNG at all, even when it jumps. You'll have perfect accuracy, so get as many 2 shots as you can. Some of these can get really creative. Tri-Slasher mains, don't lie to me right now. I know you missed the pre-patch state when Splatoon 2 just launched and Tri was broken. How about this? We'll let you return to that state. Tri will get its old range back that it had at the start of the game when this special's activated. Yep, totally not getting flashbacks right now. Tetradulies have a pretty special one. I know you guys roll through enemy ink all the time and take damage, so how about this? When this special is activated, you get ink immunity, even when you're not shooting or rolling. You just don't take damage in enemy ink whatsoever, and can walk through it like it's nothing. Tenebrella players, is your shield just not good enough? Well, with this special activated, it'll last longer before disappearing by around 2 seconds. It'll have double the HP, and will make it 10% larger. H3 players, I know life is hard on you guys. You have such a difficult weapon, and part of that is because you have a massive cooldown in between your shots. 20 frames or a whole third of a second. How about we cut that in half? That'll be 10 frames, or only 1/6 of a second. That's almost as fast as L3's 8 frames. Totally not biased as a Rapid player or anything, but I think Rapid should be able to one-shot with this special activated. Give us a little bit of time where we can feel like our range blaster selves. Dapple Doolies, I know you guys have some insanely fast dodge rolls, but they go, like, nowhere. How about we give you 4 dodge rolls? Now you can make some real distance happen. Hey Squiffer players, are you ever a little bit jealous of GooTuber's charge hold? Well, don't worry, for this 6 to 7 second special, you can have its charge hold, including the speed, and holding it for up to 5 seconds. Hey, GooTuber mains, relax. Your charge hold is not going to have a glow whatsoever, and you're going to have the effect of Ninja Squid while holding a charge. You still have the best one. A lot of people complain about Nautilus's shot speed, and I mean, that's fair. They travel almost instantly, which is what hit scan is, but Nautilus isn't hit scan, so let's make it hit scan. That'll stop all the complaints for sure. Okay, blob players, listen up. What if your blobs were, like, fast? Like, twice as fast? How about that? Dynamos, your roll is so slow, it's basically unheard of. Like, who actually rolls with the Dynamo roller? You guys are. Because we're gonna make your roll speed as fast as an Octobrush. You better use it now. Hydrospalings, you are the slowest weapon in the game. Don't get so hopeful. We're not buffing your speed. We will give you Nautilus's charge hold, though, so hopefully that's good enough. Splash players, you guys have always been made fun of for having less range than the Splatter Shot in 52. Well, no more. You're actually going to slightly outrange them, just by a little bit. Fun fact, did you guys know that Luna Blaster's radius in Splatoon 1 was just as large as Clash? You already know where this is going. Sloshers have really weird damage drop-off that makes them not 2-shot, and on top of that, they have a weak damage hit that does less. Yeah, we're getting rid of both of those things. It'll always do 70 damage. Hey E-Leader players, want to return to the Splatoon 1 glory days? Well, lucky for you, I will allow 70% charges to one-shot with this special activated. You still won't have as much range as a full charge, but I mean, You get to one-shot with 70% of a charge, I don't think it matters. Mini Splatling has a pretty comparable run speed to Ballpoint short range mode and charging. Let's do away with that. Mini Splatling will have no restriction on its run speed when charging or shooting, just as fast as it would be normally, including the run speed amounts you have. Octobrushes have dealt with too much bullying from Inkbrush players, so enough of that. Octobrush will have a roll speed that's just as much as Inkbrush and the same ink resistance effect with this special activated. Who's the slow one now? Undercoverbrella, your dreams of being a frontline have been realized. Your shield HP will be buffed from 200 to 300, and your damage from 40 to 50. Splattershot players, you're about to realize your inner Agent 3, as you'll gain access to the same type of dodge rolls that she uses. Clash Blasters, for every shot you continuously fire, your range will increase by 5%. This will give you slowly quite a lot of range, though it'll cap at Rapid Blaster's range. Inkbrush players really like to disrespectfully bump people to get a kill, but what if it wasn't a disrespect option but an actual strategy? The rolling damage of Inkbrush will be buffed to 50 when this special is activated. Carbon Roller's horizontal flick will be made actually useful. It'll have the same range as it did in Splatoon 1. Enjoy having access to 2 useful flicks. Brella's shield regenerates its HP by 2.5 health every frame, or every 1/60th of a second. However, this only activates when the shield isn't up. In this case, it will always regenerate health, even if you're already holding the shield. Bamboo's tap shots will be increased to do 45 damage, and the damage curve for charges will also be affected to be much higher. I figure this would be a bit better for you guys than just making you a glorified normal charger. Sheldon took a bit of the schematics from Mr. Grizz and gave the Sloshing Machine a super special added buff when the special's activated. Its shots will now be able to pierce through objects like Brella shields, Rainmaker shields, Splash Wall, and anything like the Salmon Run machine can. There's not a single day I don't hear about Splattershot Pro players complaining about their lack of paint. So fine, 25% extra painting capability, including the painting range matching 96. Enjoy. Gluga players, I feel bad for you for a number of reasons, but mainly for your slow rolls, so we're gonna give you slides like Dooley Squelcher, and yes, don't worry, you can two-shot during them. Flingza Roller has a pretty bad horizontal flick and a pretty good vertical flick, so we're gonna be buffing the vertical flick. We're gonna double its strafe speed. Splat Charger will be given an increased strafe speed by 50%, allowing it to move around really fast while getting its charges off. Roller will be having both its horizontal flick and vertical flick be 2 frames faster and have 2 frames less ending lag, making it a way quicker weapon. Ballpoint's long-range mode will be changed to match that of Unscoped Charger, giving it way more poking power. And for our final buff, Range Blaster will now have Rapid Pro range and have no jump RNG. Well, you might have noticed there are some weapons missing, and this is because they share buffs that have given to other weapons before. Squeezer, X-Splosher, Dooley Squelchers, and L3 will all have the 125% ink tank I gave to Aerospray. The first 3 are really ink-hungry weapons, but the L3 really likes to combo with its sub and is already a jack of all trades, so it just allows it to do even more of everything it's already good at. Blaster will be getting a little bit more range, this time to match Range Blaster, and no jump RNG, which is similar to the buff Range Blaster had. Rapid Pro will be getting the same one shot I gave to Rapid Blaster. Splat Doolies will be getting the Perma Ink immunity that I gave to Tetris. Junior, Jet Squelcher, and Heavy Splatling will all be getting the 0 RNG, including while jumping that I gave to 96. 52 will have no damage falloff, so it always does 52 damage, which is the same thing I gave to Slosher. And last but not least, Splooshin and Zap will have no limit to their strafe speed, including while firing, which is the same thing I gave to Mini. As a final note, on a more serious side of things, I know a lot of these buffs are extreme. We don't know the exact power level of specials in Splatoon 3, meaning about how strong special weapons are, and of thus how strong these buffs to main weapons should be, so I just wanted to have more fun with the concept, and show a lot of potentials for what it could be. As for potential balancing, special power-up would be able to increase duration, and the duration of the special could vary based on the buff. So for example, a less severe buff like a larger ink tank could last 8 seconds, while a more severe buff like the H3 having half the end lag could last only 5 seconds. So again, while I do obviously think this is a great special idea and would love to see it in Splatoon 3, in actuality implementing it would take a lot more time and a lot more look at what exactly gets buffed than I've done today. But regardless, I hope these fun concepts for main weapon buffs in terms of a special were interesting to you, and let me know your own ideas in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Well, that was fun. Hey, wait a second, is that a...